All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our membership meeting for this month. We're going to start with our roll call, and I'll turn it over to Mabel.
Andover E, absent. Andover G, absent. Bedford B, absent. Bedford J, absent. Cambridge E, absent. Cambridge F, absent. Cambridge J, absent. Cambridge L, absent. Canton Court D, absent. Dorchester D, absent. Fairfield B, absent. Fairfield F, absent. Gloucester G, absent. Gloucester J, absent. Gloucester K, absent. Gloucester N, absent. Highgate E, absent. Highgate 3. Highgate 3, absent. Highgate 4, absent. Huntington, absent. Knowles 1, absent. Knowles 2, absent. Oxford 1, absent. Princeton, absent. Quail Pass, absent. Yorkshire, absent. Mr. President, you have a quorum of 81.4% with 87 associations.
Thank you very much. I have to say this. You know you're in Kings Point. Jack is pouring water for me, and even the pitcher has low flow problems. Good morning, everyone. I call the meeting to order. Let's start by pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have anybody on open forum this morning? Did anybody sign up for open forum this morning? I believe no. If not, you see anybody? Okay, good, thank you. We will then get a motion to approve the draft minutes from October 18, 2019 membership meeting. Do I have a motion? A motion. Got a second? Any discussion? So moved. So moved. Posted as written, and if any corrections are needed, just contact Janice, the secretary. Thank you. Let's move to our reports. We'll start with our management reports. Rick moved, so I guess you're first. Rick Doswell.
Live via satellite. Oh, no, sorry. Good morning. Okay, get a little. There we go. We go. Next. Oh, this is, no, that's the wrong one. Hey. All right. Due to technical difficulties, no. Okay. On the financials, those have been received by y'all before the 21st of the month. And if you need any questions, I know Debbie Lauber's office, you made appointments, and so that's fantastic that you've utilized those, her financial skills regarding your understanding your financials each month. Next. The First Service has started mailing the 2020 annual meeting first notices. The mail service is going to be busy over the next couple months. Your part is when you get that packet in the mail, there's forms and there's information in there and instructions that you need to follow to submit back into First Service, back into your association manager. They will compile that information and prepare the second notice, which will go out before your annual meeting. So we're also coordinating, and we'll be discussing more detail, your 2020-2021 budget. And again, the same thing, you'll be coordinating any changes that you have. We've already got a couple since Tuesday of adjustments that Board of Directors want to make. And so work again with your association manager on those changes and submit those in. As I mentioned, we only have 9, Debbie, right? 9. So there's 9 9 associations that already are confident in their budgets, and they will receive those later today. But thank you for your great response coming into the office, picking them up. So we've got 104. Is that how many that have been distributed? So you've got those in front of you, hopefully. So when we do the budget meeting next, that will be completed. Next. We are working with Terminix, the action plan that we mentioned last month that we were expecting results by the end of October. We did get better results. However, we are continuing to monitor the services for pest control. First Service is assisting with an insurance RFP in conjunction before with the insurance committee, but the Federation Board has directed the Federation's legal counsel, Webb Melton from Bush Ross, that firm, the Bush Ross firm, they will be distributing all of the information to the RFP, the bidders. So that's underway, and so we're anticipating good results on that process. Next. The OLM on landscape, they completed, which is in the kpscc.com, the October 28th, 29th, and 30th. The OLM has a graded inspection next Monday, and it's a little earlier this month because of Thanksgiving. So they'll be here on the 18th, 19th, and 20th to complete their graded inspection per the contract. 2019, I know I mentioned it briefly, and also mentioned it at the meeting on the 4th. Just a great team effort with everyone, Daryl and Mabel and Susan, working very closely with each association, their board, your boards, and the POCs. Florida Mulch was well communicated very well with Mabel and the team to make sure that everything was completed. The invoices are being processed for payment, and again, just want to thank you all I've been working this mulch program for a while, and this was good. And I know it took a lot of your effort, and we're not perfect. We'll still make some adjustments to it, but thanks for your help on that. Next. Another thing that I want to keep reminding you that we are tracking through our Connect system is our work orders. Mabel and Denny Shapaka are doing a great job in coordinating this effort from your assistance when you identify those. So we know the number of work orders. It, by the way, has almost been reduced in half. So the contractors, I think, are completing their services the first time, which is what we want them to complete their services. And then these are the type of work orders that are still, that you're submitting in, and we do it by category. This information, by the way, is utilized for the OLM grading sheets that we do each month. And I think Dave has talked with that. Dave McGraw has talked about that before. We utilize this data as a part of scoring for the landscapers that reduces their deliverables on a quantities component. OLM consultant, they grade the quality part and the work grading or tabulating the timeliness report. So all of that was get added in to the final report that each one. And on Wednesday next week, we will add up our scores of quantity that you've helped create, and we'll submit that in for 50% of the grade. Next. We've been busy, not quite as busy this year as in previous years, but transfers are still strong. Last year we had over 500, and this year we're at 459. And leases are similar. We had 395 this year compared to 427, so just slightly less by about 32 than what we had last year. So it's still a very strong market in Kings Point. Next. And again, yes, we're through the storm season, but we may get some high winds and things like that. We need your information, and I know that will be a part of the first notice mailing that you're all going to get. You get a emergency sheet where you can update your information on. And so we appreciate you submitting that back to our office. And I just want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. We have lots to be thankful for. And this year I get to celebrate, not there in Dallas, but we get to celebrate and be thankful for a new little 7-month grandson. So we got lots to thank you for. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. And next on the roster would be Ginger with Vesta report.
Okay, Grandpa. Grandma's going to speak now. Good morning, everybody. We share pictures. All right, we'll start off with entertainment. The summer series is finalized. The total revenue there was $23,500, and we sold 1,971 tickets for the summer series. The winter series is up. It begins December 16th. There's the brochure there if you haven't seen that. Ticket sales to date, 4,957 tickets. People love to buy their series tickets early. This show doesn't the series doesn't start for another month, but we've already brought over $100,000 in on those sales. Those are anticipated and budgeted. Matthew and the special events group would like us to let you know we've got a new offering here. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and that somewhere is going to be down at Margarita South Club. That's on November 20th. The holiday open house and craft show on December 4th These are all in your Pointer publication and online. We've got a Winterfest cookout party on December 8th. We've got the Brandon Ballet on December 15th. And the Ditchfields, our first of the Winter Series show on December 16th. That'll be here in Veterans Theater. Moving over to the operations, we've got fitness and spa usage here. I've mentioned before, we show it in a graph form now. You can see green is 2 years back, and then blue last year, and then current year. And we always show you this because we put thousands and thousands of people through that program every month. You may not recognize any comparisons to other communities, but this is extremely high usage for that program. And we love it, and we like to brag about that. So your 6-month numbers are down there below for the year-to-date. And for those of you who prefer to see it in a graph form, here it is, fitness classes, or I'm sorry, just using the fitness center versus the group exercise participation, and then combined, you can see green again 2 years ago, blue last year, and red. We're just always so pleased to see this always grow year over year. I always wonder which is the year it'll even flatten off or drop. Fitness is king, and it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. In your spa usage, here's your patronage for October, and just a reminder, one-year trial, not a one-year trail, Ginger, sorry about that typo, a one-year trial. The board asked us to do last November, so we just culminated that, and over the year we served 316 CA clients and brought in over $18,000 in revenue, which we feel was no impact to the users. So we are, with their support, continuing that program. And again, for those who like to see it in graph form, this is the last 5 years of the merchandise and services sales in there for the 6 months. And the team would like me to let you all know it's that time of year again. That means it's season, and several group exercise classes now require tickets for admission during peak season. Residents have to come in, present your badge at the front desk to get a ticket for the individual classes that require tickets. No guests are permitted to attend the ticketed classes. We exclusively allow in the Kings Point residents. And those classes are listed there, chair yoga, Zumba, and Flex and Flow on those days. If you have any questions, please see Jen over at the fitness center. And here's just your pass and Pointer ad sales. I won't read all your numbers there. Just pointing out the armband program, another initiative. The board asked us to actually monitor how many outsiders use those armband events. We've so far have tracked 105, and it's 4.8%. So it's not too terribly much. If you have a guest in there, they buy a badge and can attend with you, but it certainly isn't, storming the palace and the majority being outside people versus Kings Point residents. And here's your lottery ticket sales. Kings Point received $417 in commissions on the lottery sales in the month of October. Recreation, it has the transportation numbers now reported under it. You'll see Ford trips there. We collected 45,000. You may think, holy cow, where the heck were they going? Well, so there were a number of overnight trips that were quite expensive, so that kind of drove that number. 166 seats sold for a 78% occupancy. Here's just some various projects. We've got the replacement tram has been delivered. Tennis gazebo renovation is underway. I think they're working on the roof out there. Now it's a rebuild. It was, had a lot of dry rotted wood, and they've made that all nice and new again. Outdoor pool shade structures underway. And the Lawn Bowling Green contractor is nearing completion. He had to come out and redo some things. He's completed installation of the additional drainage that was needed there. And God gave us a gift. We got that 4 inches of rain in a couple hours and went out there, and it was just a 120 foot by 120 foot reflecting pond. And we were able to show the vendor, and they agreed and had the pull it up and do some additional drainage to be able to take some of that runoff away from there. They also got some irrigation installed and reinstalled the perimeter sod with TIF-Tuff, which is what was required in the agreement, but they had put a different type of sod there. So that's completed. The growing period has commenced. That is expected to last 3 to 4 more weeks, weather permitting. Grass growing doesn't tend to like the cooler temperatures, so it may be slowed down a little bit. Security passes at the gate over 12,600. We've got number of incident reports, 58. That's all the calls we get into the gate for things that go bump in the night or an irrigation, something or other, a cat, you know, somebody sketchy walking down the street, things that the guards are called about. So we track all of those. There's your total number of auto and golf cart decals issued. We expect that number again to rise as seasonal folks come back in. And then just operationally, we received over 9,700 calls at the gate, and the highest number in one day, 464. That's a lot of contact going on in that gatehouse. So what about parking? We've had so much of this in the news about where people should and shouldn't park. Again, in an effort to support the master's concerns that they put a lot of time and energy into, you know, irrigation and valves, and we wanted to support that, so we were looking into the various areas, and a lot of people call into the gate. Well, where is that car being parked exactly? Is it on master turf? Is it on the association's turf, their land, or is it in the trust property? So Director Akins met with Rick Dowswell, and they've created a revised procedure, so when calls do come into the gate for vehicles parked in the road or in the grassy area, a golf cart with a for sale sign, all the calls that we get, the guards should take your information. Then Don will coordinate with Rick about, all right, where is that located? If it's in the association, then, you know, and we don't have any jurisdiction, that will be that association will be contacted that they have to remove it. Or if it's on the roadways, or if it's parked right out here on the trust property. Those complexities are not things that necessarily the caller needs to worry about. We'll figure out how to deal with it, but you have to give them the location of where it is, and we'll do our best to try and help that. Also, reminder, just to really cross that T and dot that I, please do not park on the grass. We are trying to help protect not only the grass, but the valves and the heads. The only areas today that are permitted in the trust area, the North Park complex over here where we have lawn bowling and shuffleboard, lots of carts pull up in there, and then over here the cornhole field next to pickleball where currently we have carts pulling in. That's golf carts. Don't pull your, you know, F350 up there, and, you know, those tires, it's a much heavier vehicle, the tires tend to damage the grass, etc. So those are the golf cart areas. And then with regard to overflow parking at the South Club, you all know season's coming, and any of you ever watch Game of Thrones, they say winter is coming, right? You know, so season is coming here. And we've got, on Monday, November 18th, Matthew has made arrangements, again with Club Link, and we're very pleased they agreed to this, to let us use their Scepter golf cart staging area for the overflow parking. So it'll be available for the high traffic nights, which are trivia night and karaoke and rock and rendezvous. We'll have some guards out there when we get it started, just to kind of point people where to go. Don't use sign language with the guards when they're asking you to go to the parking lot. It's just not nice. And we are really trying to help people get a spot to park, get close enough, but everybody just can't park at the back door. And finally, it's with a little bit of mixed joy and sadness. We wish a bon voyage and farewell to our associate, Louise Landry. She and her husband are relocating to Crystal River. They've sold their business. She's been here, is it 9 years, 10 years, with First Service and also with us. So Louise is in the audience. Stand up, Louise. Wave to everybody. She's just been dedicated to the residents. She's worked both sides of the business, and we will miss her. We have already identified and hired a replacement, and gratefully Louise is going to help us transition because, as you know, coming into Kings Point, especially in season, is like taking a sip out of a fire hose. So there's a lot of learning to be done very quickly, so bear with us. And as Rick said, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. We all have so much to be grateful for.
Okay, Ginger, thank you. And just as a reminder, since our workouts are going up and getting better, and it's great, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. We've had issues with dehydration and electrolytes in our family, so it can sneak up on you. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Okay, that takes care of that. So I will just remind everybody we are doing financial stuff today. So just as a point of reference, let's keep the recordings to the cameras here so we're good. That way we can keep control of the information, private stuff, so it doesn't go out outside of this room. That's what we want to do. But I appreciate everybody working with us on that. The next thing is committee reports. Palm and Tree, got anything you can share with us on scheduling or work that's being done? Frank?
Okay, on Palm and Tree, we're starting to reach the end of the schedule. This is the thing I want to emphasize the most. Please get in a work order if you have any hanging palms, nicked palms, problems with the palms, touching the roof still. I want to get all the work orders in before Grow moves on to their next phase so that they can come back during their 2-week recovery period and address all those issues. So make sure you get the work orders in. Not only it tells them what they need to do, but it helps us to track what this company is doing, so we can determine whether or not we want to keep them going or not. So please, that's really all I have to say. The schedule's online if you want to see it. There's not too many days left. But yes, get the work orders in. Very, very important for each one, and put an address at each one. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Frank. Maureen, how about health and safety? Anything you want to bring us up to date on there?
Well, nothing other than we're still looking at the chair carpet kind of situation in the card room. That's about it right now.
Very good. Excellent. Rick, SEC reports or updates there?
Good morning. Briefly, this Standing Election Committee would like to remind you all that we're now coming up for elections here fairly soon. We will be electing directors for districts 1, 7, 8, and 9. We encourage every one of you who have the ability, the time, and the inclination to run for these positions. We need some competition out there so that you, the members, can select who you want, rather than just having somebody elected because they show up and show up unopposed. So I encourage all of you out there who've got the time and the ability, please come up and take part in your association. And also, those of you who are going to be voting for someone, I recommend that you take the time to look into that individual, learn something about them, attend the meetings when they're introduced, because you have to remember that the ones that are representing your district are annually recommending millions of dollars of your money and where it goes. Please come out and take part in your federation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Contract committee, anything to update us on there?
We've been working on 2 main contracts. One, and I want to thank Rick for all the work on the Terminex. Hopefully we have that under control in a lot better manner than it was. And we're looking, they only have 1 person assigned to this community, and we're looking at adding either a part-time employee or a second-time employee, and working with Terminex on that. The other contract that we've been diligently working on is the renewal of the first service contract. It is basically at this time ready to go to the Federation Council for their review, and hopefully in January, which will be well ahead of schedule, we'll be able to present it to the membership for approval.
Great, thank you, Jack. Okay, we do have on our agenda a treasury report, but we're doing that every quarter, and we've got our budgets and all to talk about today, so we're good, right, Al? Is that correct? Very good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. President's report. Let me just go through a couple of things here that we need to update you on. First of all, let me say welcome to everybody in the room, and also welcome back to all those coming in from returning for the season. One of the things that I kind of get hit with most commonly right now, one of the questions is the Federation and the Master going to be able to form one unified board and work together? The only official answer I can actually give you right now is that is absolutely everybody's goal. We're working on it. It's a significant point of our focus moving forward. We're talking, we're chatting, we're making things happen, and I believe we're moving in that direction. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's got to be worked out. I guess the question is not is it not a good idea. It's probably not even good English, but it's obviously a great idea. But there are some questions we do need to ask and be answered, like how do we see it working? How will we make certain that voices in this community are still heard? What will the new structure look like, and how will it perform long term? Have we considered what is good for us today, yet considered what's good for those coming in tomorrow? We've got to think not only present but long term. In that effort, the Federation would like to extend an invitation to the Master to share in the expertise of our consultant. His name is Peter Dunbar. Peter Dunbar is a highly acclaimed attorney and an author of a series of books focusing on governmental, administrative, and real property law. He served 5 terms as a distinguished member of the Florida House of Representatives in Pinellas County and Pasco County. Upon leaving the legislature, he served as the general counsel and director of legislative affairs under Governor Bob Martinez. And we'd like for the Master, obviously, to come together with us, and we'd like to share kind of their fundamental plan. We'd like to take our fundamental plan and share it with this consultant and let him review it, help us go down a correct direction, and help us move forward together and forward wisely. That's what we're looking for. If you came to the Master Association meeting on Wednesday, there was a discussion about a 2 o'clock meeting on Wednesday with some Master Association members as well as some Federation members relative to irrigation question. That did take place. Several members of the Federation met, primarily Dave McGraw, the Lawn and Landscape Chair, Jack, myself, to get just to go over some ideas. The Master members were there. The discussion focused on the issues of irrigation. It was to clarify some points causing what appeared to be an impasse, and to search for ideas that can help us expedite results. And we did meet. I think it was a productive discussion that culminated in several effective next steps, and it identified several key points that I believe are catalysts to some of the debate that's going on. I feel confident that we're actually very close to resolving any issue or confusion that may actually stand between the irrigation responsibilities of this community and the improvement of our turf. So I think we're very, very close. I'm confident that we're moving in a good direction. I'm adding a new section today called rumor control, and this is going to make some people feel uncomfortable right up here and maybe out there, but you know, rumors do make us crazy. There are 3 rumors that I've been fielding with people talking to me, so I'm responding to questions. Is the Federation investigating elements of the law? Why haven't we competitively bid our insurance over the years? And is my son trying to sell us insurance? So I've got those 3. I'll address each one of those, try to address them as much as I can and as accurately as possible. The Federation investigating elements of the law. Our job as a Federation is oversight. What does that mean? Review, evaluate, analyze, ask questions, check procedures, inspect operations, and most importantly, observe, report, and make decisions based on the results that we achieve. Yes, the answer is yes. We're looking at the 2017 refi paperwork just to review, to make certain the questions that have been asked many times are actually finally answered. We're reviewing that. So Vesta's been very cooperative. Dan Armstrong's been very cooperative. We're working. We're still trying to make certain certain elements are correct and everything was calculated properly and everything was good. But at this point, there's nothing to officially report. I just want to bring to everybody's attention, since it's being tossed out there, that yeah, we are looking, and I'm going to be the one that wants to stand up in front of you and say everything's cool, or we found something we need to correct. And until we get to that point, that's the rumor. It's just a rumor. Why haven't we competitively bid our insurance over the years? That's a question that was thrown out actually on a video at one point, and it's been brought up now in conversations. I'm going to give you my perspective on that. Insurance is as a thing that we do is kind of like that necessary evil that we have to have. We don't necessarily like dealing with it, but if we don't have it, it's a bigger problem. And that's okay if you're a homeowner, that you got your house, your car, your health, it's your choice. But I think comfort is the arch enemy of success in a situation like this. We're a small city. So I think comfort has been one of those factors that we have that's caused us not to be as competitive, look at it competitively. I think we have a lack of knowledge of commercial insurance as a whole, just as people in a community. I think buying insurance isn't exactly like bidding for landscaping. It's different. It's a different process. Rick explained some things we're going through now, and that's part of our choices we're making as we move forward to kind of look at this in a different way. Part of the questions that came up from a 2016 situation where another agency kind of pushed its way into the process. And the community's premiums seem to exponentially drop very substantially. After doing some research, I kind of found there wasn't necessarily a truly valuable market reason for it dropping other than somebody else got in the mix and talked about it. I mean, that's just it. That's the way it works. Free market competition has its place, and Kings Point is one of those places. We have to not be comfortable. We have to keep looking. So we changed the process, as Rick kind of pointed out, and we're making it more market-related. We're giving other people an opportunity to come in and look at it, and we'll examine it properly and professionally, and hope that that brings a good, positive result. Last one is my son trying to sell me insurance. The accurate answer is no. My son's actually not. He's in the insurance. He's connected with the insurance industry, but that's not exactly his focus. He creates ideas and brokers. He puts together business models. Essentially, we've been talking about this. I've talked to you guys many times about the community sustainability model that I'm trying to create. And Ginger just reported some great results where things that we'd never thought about are generating revenue. That's going to go to our bottom line and not come out of your pocket. So that was one of the ideas. And he came up with an idea to me. He is actually transitioning to this area, tired of living in D.C., brothers in Germany. We're here, and we're exciting people. He wanted to come live around us, which is crazy, I guess. He came on the property, he shared a business model is what it was, that would give this community an opportunity to control money that normally leaves as part of every normal business transaction. That was it. It would empower the community to essentially keep and store away substantial dollars for future use, such as paying down your loan if you wanted to do that, keeping your drinks cheap and inexpensive, and not necessarily hitting you for amenities that don't generate revenue but cost you money. At that point, the board looked at it. They felt like there was a possibility there could be an issue. He is related to me, so there is in statutes, Florida Statute 617-0832. That is a conflict of interest statute, which means if you have a connection with a vendor, you have to do one thing, at least disclose. I did disclose to them. I'm now disclosing to you. So we fulfilled that, and it should be, we're good. But that was it. He's not trying to sell you insurance. He was looking at a business model that the board did look at, and because of the pushback they felt like they may get from you guys because of my connection, they decided to not necessarily move forward with that situation. And something happened during that whole process which actually triggered thoughts in my head, which is scary and painful often. There was pushback in weird ways, such as money leaving the community versus money staying in the community. There was pushback on that. It made no sense to me. Why? So I started digging into things. And I still am. I'm looking, that's why we've decided to reassess our insurance process and our bidding processes and do a lot more, have a lot more transparency and a lot more exposure and examine these more clearly, more openly as we move forward. Now, it is oversight. That's all it is. It's not accusations. I'm not making innuendos or accusations. I'm just going over what we're doing so you guys are aware, because I believe oversight is our responsibility, and this board is trying. This board working is trying to set a new standard for excellence and transparency in Kings Point. So that's kind of my report for the day to bring you up to speed of where it's at. If you hear it on the street, remember, it's probably not true. Next one, yeah, unfinished business. We don't have any unfinished business. We are getting things done, so I'm proud of my group up here. We do have a couple of motions under new business. The first motion that we have today will be to approve the canceling of December membership meeting, which I believe is historic and standard. Do I have somebody to make that motion? Stand down, Dan. I've got somebody planned in the audience here. Thank you. You can second it in a second, okay? Okay. I love your enthusiasm, by the way.
Good morning. I, Jim Allen, move that the Federation membership approve the cancellation of the December 21, 2019 membership meeting. Now, if we have a second.
All right, do I have a second? Second. I'm going to put Dan's name down because he seconded before. So we'll do that. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, any discussion on that, Jim?
No.
No discussion. Any discussion from the audience? I'm going to call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Aye. We got one opposed. Thank you very much, sir. All right, so with that vote, the motion did carry. We will be canceling the December meeting. Thank you. The second motion is to adopt the 2020-2021 proposed Federation operating budget that was previously distributed to everybody. I do have a motion for that. Is that correct, Tom?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
My name is Tom Ricketts. I'm president of Gloucester E-Association. I move that the Federation membership adopt the proposed 2020-2021 Federation operating budget of $2.29 per unit per month assessments for a total budget of $22,400. $220,400.
Damn those decimals. All right, very good. Any second? Got a second? Any discussion?
Yeah, I do have some comments on that I'd like to go through. Per the Federation bylaws, Article 10, Fiscal Affairs, Section 2, the board shall cause to be prepared a proposed budget of the Federation to be considered at least 5 months prior to the beginning of the next fiscal year. Members shall be entitled to receive a copy of the Federation budget by mail at least 15 days prior to a meeting of the Federation at which the budget will be considered by the members. The membership now needs to approve this budget.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any further debate? I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Did somebody oppose? Had one opposed? Okay. So we have one opposed, and all the voters voted for. But the votes show that that carried. That motion that has carried. All right, great. Thank you, Tom. All right, very good. Thank you. That brings us to the announcement of good and welfare. Before we do that, I just want to remind everybody the annual association budget review meeting will be held immediately following this, and it will be conducted by Rick. He'll go over the details. We'll have some questions and answers, I'm sure. Am I right about that? So don't run away. We still have more president and treasurers who sit on the floor. You don't even have to use a chair. Just come and sit on the floor. Be just fine. Make it real comfortable. We'll chat. Ginger, can we get some popcorn? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jen. All right. Any good and welfare? Come on up, Tom.
Yes, good morning. Tom Murphy, Lancaster 3 President. I made the announcement at the Federation meeting, but since there's a lot more presidents here and they can communicate that to their membership, on December 20th, Spectrum will be opening a new office just up above Big Ben next to the Texas Roadhouse. And people say, well, how does that affect me? Well, now that we are Spectrum clients, all right, we own that equipment, or we rent it, let's say, that equipment. So if we move out of Kings Point, the person that signed for that equipment has to return it. It doesn't go with your unit. So they now have an office that's going to be closer and more accessible to all our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Forrest. Forrest, I'm trying to live up to your standard, young man.
Doing a great job. We got a few announcements from the COA. First of all, Santa Claus will be making a visit to our COA monthly business meeting on December 4th at 2 p.m. and that's going to be in the banquet room. All grandkids that are visiting are welcome to come and meet Santa and have their picture taken. Christmas presents will be available. However, if you would please call the COA office if you're going to attend and give us the ages of your youngsters for an appropriate gift. Also, the COA will be closing one Friday soon to have renovations to their office floor. We had a major leak in the office over there, and the COA is now working with Vesta, and they're out getting estimates, and hopefully we'll be back in good shape soon. The office will be closed on Thursday, November 28th for Thanksgiving, and the day after Thanksgiving, 11/29. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone from your COA staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Forrest. All right. Okay, good. Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
What's the Santa Claus date again?
When's Santa Claus going to be here?
Santa Claus will be here on December 4th at 2 p.m.
And the meeting is when?
They canceled the December.
The December membership meeting was just canceled.
Whatever day it was supposed to be, it's canceled.
The actual date is the 20th or 21st. I just looked at my calendar. Apparently this was last year's motion.
Oh, okay. Really?
So everybody show up for that December meeting because it's not official.
One other thing, if I could, Vicki, could I jump in
right?
in a second? Yeah, today, this week on Thursday, the 21st, shredding day, 9 to 12 noon.
We're going to shred that motion too.
Let's get rid of all those old ones, right?
Come on.
Thank you.
Hold that up, Jim. We'll get it. Thank you. Thank you, Boris.
Hi, I'm Vicki with Andover Eye today. Several of us are working with Noreen and Federation Subcommittee on developing a strategy or a communication of what we can do in the event of an emergency, not necessarily just a hurricane. And so I wanted to give everybody a heads up that we're going to be doing a workshop that is not the insurance workshop that you all are used to getting. You may still get that from First Service. But at the end of February, we're going to be doing something that is for the end user, for association boards, on how you prepare your community on a ground level for an emergency such as a hurricane, storm, toxic waste dump, whatever happens. Who do you communicate? What do you do? What is your responsibility? What are you allowed to do? What are you not allowed to do? The actual brass tacks of how to prepare in advance, what to do during, and what is available immediately after. And so, what's the date on that, Noreen? It's February 28th, so please mark that in your calendar. You'll be getting things via email blast and as well as, I think, in the pointer and through documentation, but we really want you to write that in your calendar because this is one of those meetings that you'll actually be able to use the information on a daily basis to prepare in advance of season. And we're doing it early enough that the snowbirds are not gone so that we can hopefully be really prepared this year. We've dodged a bullet every other year, so we're looking forward to dodging it again, but we want to be prepared.
And we're trying to let you know ahead of time and enough time so that you can let your residents know to come, because this will be very informative, and eventually we'll send out an email where you can run off a flyer and post it in the mailboxes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Of course, where are the batteries?
Just a quick reminder, the Pelican Players are putting on Boeing. They had their first show last night. We have another show tonight, 2 more on Saturday, and 1 more on Sunday afternoon. It's a really funny show. There's still a few tickets left. So if you want to, come on out and have a couple of laughs. It's a really good production this time. It's a lot of fun. And just a reminder that we're a nonprofit, and we to date have contributed over $600,000 to scholarships.
Very good. Thank you, Frank. All right, any other announcements? Let's, Jim, because we did have an error in the date, we need to get you to amend that motion you made. Heads are gonna roll, Jim. Just be calm.
Okay, one more time. I, Jim Allen, make an amendment that we change the date on the motion that was approved for the cancellation of the December 20th, 2019 membership meeting for the Federation.
Okay, I'll, second? Second. Very good, seconded. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? We've got same number of votes, so the motion did carry. Thank you. I like consistency. Love it. Very good. All right, great. At this point, no more good and welfare. We will get a motion to adjourn the meeting. So moved, so moved. The meeting is now adjourned. We will take a few minutes to take a break, and we'll go right into the next meeting. 5 minutes to prepare for the next meeting.